Zarya and I were talking about Strahd. We're sick of him calling himself a god. He's not a god, he's just an asshole, and he can go to hell. We've traveled around to gather the gems so the Mardikovs could make their wine with them, but I'm nervous about the final battle, and Zarya could tell. So we talked. The fire roared. She pulled me in close, and I broke her pitcher on the forge. I kissed a girl. I kissed a girl. I kissed a girl.
Hey Dungeoneers, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of the Strahdcast. If you like what we do here, remember to follow us on YouTube or subscribe via your favorite podcast app to get notified every time we release new episodes. Thanks again, and take your listen with advantage. When last we left our heroes, they spent a night of frivolity amongst the berserkers. Winnie continued her rock quest to no avail, while Olaf bested a narrow-minded rival in a game of ram's horns. Drogar reached out to Pasha, imploring him to come home, while Kaz and Zarya finally made their feelings known to each other. These revels cannot last forever, however. There is still much work to be done to defeat Strahd. Where will our heroes head next? Find out now on the Strahdcast. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Shuffle off this mortal coil and transport yourselves to the far, foggy realm of Barovia. We have our festive night with the berserkers. We all have our activities. After settling down.
I made a face and Tyler's the only one who saw it. Activities.
I want to wake up with Kaz. I want to know what's going on.
Drogar sends that.
You were to wake up with Cash and be like, "What are you doing in here?"
As a listener.
Oh
As a listener.
Are you Campbell or Winnie?
I'm Campbell. You can't tell by my voice.
So to bring us back in, the night passes festively. I think
that's a good word for it.
I think it's like the embers of the fire are starting to go out just as the sun is starting to rise. You know, so make decisions for yourself about when you went to sleep or when you wake up. But it's sunrise at the berserker camp. Time is yours.
A big cauldron, flame underneath it. Drogar's like throwing stuff into it. You know,
making
roots and the grain, and he's throwing stuff into it, and then he just goes.
Ever the first to wake up.
Ever the first.
Spice box.
Pops out his little spice box.
Little bit of cinnamon.
Nice, perfect. Yeah, I think as you're warming the cookpot here early in the morning, a couple of berserkers who maybe just passed out drunk, just like on the ground.
They're like all around me as I'm
like a ring around you at the central cookpot.
I'm like in my nightgown as I'm like making breakfast.
Yeah, and a couple of them start to stir and sniff and sputter.
Natty 18.
Hey. Nice. Yeah. What are you making?
I want to make a like an oatmeal, but I want to make it with like bits of sweet veggies.
Ooh,
like carrots. Maybe I find some
blueberries or something. Make it.
Yeah, like a
blueberries are great. Blueberries are a cold temperature fruit. So yeah, I buy that in Barovia. Yeah, great.
So like I do like all that, and I'm like, you see him pull from underneath. He pulls out a second pan. Like, would I find yeast and all that sort of stuff?
They have ways to make bread, yeah.
Right. I throw it in this like second pot, and it's like growing, and I'm like, Daddy's back in business.
So yeah, they like steam starts to float up out of the cookpot like in a cartoon, like a pie placed on a windowsill in a Looney Tunes. And yeah, a bunch of the berserkers start to stir around it. Oh, something smells tasty. And they all start kind of raveling, and like they kind of start forming a circle, just all like looking at what you're doing, observing, not as culinarily inclined. generally as you are. They're all looking around like a bunch of seagulls approaching a picnic at a beach.
And Drogar turns around and goes, right, everyone, single file line.
They start wrestling and jockeying with each other for position.
I feel like Olaf like pushes his way to the front.
Still nude.
Oh yeah.
Still, the day he was born.
Yeah. But and like hungover for like one of the first times because normally he's a big one on retiring early, but like this was his night to let loose. So he's like still maybe a little drunk and like, "I get out of the way." Drogar, what you got there? That smells pretty good.
Drogar will cut a piece of the bread and put it like on like a wooden slat, and we'll take some of the oatmeal and pour it on top.
Ooh, yummy.
And I'll just hand it to you.
And he takes it and just doesn't even
Houses
hesitate
it,
and just immediately like shoves his face into it and then just like pulls away. Like, oh, that's still hot. Yep, and then he and and then he just like looks at the people in line and just like pats Drogar on the back and just I think like wanders away and lays back down in the
He's
like a little bit away.
Wandering away, falls over.
Oh, listening audience, for you to see Ned and Tyler actually blowing on an imaginary bowl between the two of them.
I do imagine this is kind of the timing of this is probably working out really perfectly with like the berserkers who fell asleep later in the night.
Yes.
And the ones who like they wake up the first time when the alcohol wears off. You know, like, you know, when you drink a lot in a night, I speak not from experience. I'm a lady after all. But like when I've heard you wake up, like the alcohol wears off and then
You're really selling it.
drink some water, pee, go back to bed.
And you inhale water like a whale shark at 3 in the morning.
You chug it like there's nothing left on this planet.
I broke a toe one time doing that.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Again, all hearsay.
Sure it is.
Yeah. All right. So Drogar attending to breakfast and the berserkers lining up.
Indeed.
Yeah, Olaf passed back out like 10 feet past Drogar.
Yeah, and seeing your delight, Olaf. Again, they continue to try and wrestle and push past each other to be first in line for Drogar's porridge.
I'm in no rush to wake up. Y'all keep looking at me.
I want to know what happened.
I think Kaz is, for lack of a better term, Kaz is the queen, but I think Zarya is the top.
Feels right.
I could have told you that.
Talk about it.
I think for once in Kaz's life,
Totally.
she's like, someone else gets to be in control, and I'm not mad about it.
It's the one time she gets to feel small in somebody's arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It only takes like a 7-foot tall woman.
Oh man, that's steamy.
Kaz is just nuzzles, is just like head on her chest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's in no rush to wake up.
Yeah. Early in the morning, Kaz, maybe, you know, a lot of times you're in and out of this place, and the sort of Spartan nature of the Berserker camp maybe it's something you've always really appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Their tents can go up and down at a moment's notice, so that if they needed to move, they can. Like maybe that's something you've always really admired.
It was the same in the desert.
Exactly.
Attic, yeah.
Yeah. But like maybe here in the early mornings, you start to pick out like some of the really personal touches of Zarya's tent. You know, the furs lining the floor, you know, and the specific animals that make them up, and the like smooth edges of the forge that speak of its well-worn use, you know, just a well-loved piece of equipment. Yeah, I think maybe she's got, you know, big arms just kind of like wrapped up around you.
Yeah.
As a gentle morning breaks.
I don't think Kaz is the type to like wake up, realize she's awake, and then like roll over and go back to sleep.
Okay.
But this is one morning she does that.
Oh, that's great.
I don't think she has not felt this safe in a long time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe like a cuddle and a snuggle and a jostle a little bit in the early morning. And she's like,
Good morning, Your Highness.
No. If I am the leader of this place, then I decree it is still last night and will be for the next 4 days. At least. At 4 days, we will reconsider.
If only fate conspired to have it be so. But I fear that soon your duties will call you away from this place. But maybe we can risk leaving the valley in danger 5 minutes more.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
And they snug.
Oh.
Winnie?
As you're cooking dinner or cooking breakfast, Drogar, you just hear from like Winnie's tent. You just hear, "Dang it!"
Drogar goes running and goes over to Winnie's tent and just is like,
If you throw open the flaps,
Winnie, are you all right?
flap open the flaps,
You flap the flap.
flap the flaps, and she's standing in the middle of her tent like, and her hair is like all disheveled, and she's like, her school uniform is like ajar, like she just got dressed, and there's something like hastily there scribbled on the floor, and she's holding a stick in her hand, and she's like, got one hand on her forehead, and she's like, just so frustrated.
What's wrong, Winnie?
I don't know what I'm doing.
What are you trying to achieve?
I don't know how to explain it. Okay,
Try your best.
the Waywarden gave me a new thing,
Okay.
and I don't know how it works. I've been drawing on the floor because I think that that's the right thing to do. You know, he never tells me what I'm supposed to do. It's just like I kind of get a feeling of like, I didn't do a new thing, and I'm just going to figure it out. But it's like when you did that thing and it took like, but it took you had to draw some stuff and it took a long time. And I don't know what I'm drawing on the floor.
Was she trying to do a ritual spell? Nice.
I see. You're talking about the ritual that I performed.
Yes.
What are you trying to achieve?
He made it seem like I could talk to him directly. Like I could ask him a question. If I draw it right.
I understand now. You wish to commune.
Yes, I want to do that.
He puts his mason stuff aside and he just kind of like, tightens his robe a little bit and he just goes, right. All right, I'm going to draw each symbol.
No, you tell me how to do it. I want to learn how to do it.
Do you learn more visually or more doing?
Doing.
Right. I will draw the symbol in the air, and you will do it on the ground.
Okay.
Great. And Drogar will start with the symbols as he draws this kind of ritualistic pattern for commune. Now, commune is on my spell list, so I know how to cast it.
Does the symbol need to look different, though, if you're trying to talk to your god and I'm trying to talk to my god? Do we have to do a different thing?
That's peculiar. I didn't think about that.
You know what I mean?
Is there a symbol that you have of the Waywardens?
Well, I have this, and I hold up the little, like, it looks like a gray kind of petrified chicken talon, but it has a bunch of legs. But I have this too, and she has those scars on her shoulders. She has 3
like
talon
talons.
scars on each shoulder.
Can I make a roll to attempt to understand and grasp those symbols and figure out what that might be?
Sure. So you're trying to cast commune, Winnie? Great. 5th level spell, you just got access to those for hitting 9th level. And tabletop, the way it works is you still have to put it on your spell list. So you would have to, mechanically for later, you would have to prepare it. But you can cast it without expending a spell slot if it's prepared. So to kind of like get us there, right?
I have prepared it though, because it's it's a night has passed.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. And so, yeah, we'll say like the action of preparing it is this that we're playing out.
Cool.
Right?
Work.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. So, yeah, Drogar, why don't you... So you're trying to, like, just looking at the things that he has
Bestowed upon her. Yeah.
Trying to see if you can figure out what like the runes or the glyphs or what would be needed.
I'm familiar with the traditional pantheon.
Yeah, right. But he's new. The Way Warden is new.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or at least not outside of that kind of traditional pantheon.
New to you.
Yeah, new to Drogar. So give me a religion check. Yeah.
That's a 17.
17.
16 on the die. Strangely enough, I only have a +1 to religion. Intelligence. It's not wisdom. Yeah, it's more of a major.
Yeah. It's about like
Yeah, I gave myself a proficiency with it only because of the Academy of the Twilight Matron.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah. To give you an idea, my insight and my medicine are +8.
Sounds like me with my strength.
Sure. Why don't you do a religion check for me too, Winnie, and we'll do one of the aggregate ones that I like.
Guys, I have been rolling so bad. Every time.
It do be like that sometimes.
Do you want the die?
I'm scared. No, I'm scared to waste it.
Sometimes you're cold.
Cracked die. That's cracked. That's a cracked die.
But it wanted to be a natural
No,
one.
that was a cracked die.
No, it didn't want to, which is why it cracked.
No, it was indecisive, is what it was. It didn't know what it wanted.
Please tell me that.
Know what it was.
19. Thanks, Tyler.
I'm sorry. That was a
already
cracked fucking
died.
die.
Already died.
On already die rolled me a 19.
So Drogar, yeah. So Winnie. Well, okay, great. So then with a 19, why don't you talk a little bit about the Way Warden and what he makes you feel?
When I first met him, he made a sound like a bird. That's what I heard when I was still in Emily and all the soldiers were closing in, and then I saw the dirt on the ground. It started to rise up like dust. I thought that was happening for everybody, but nobody else seemed to see it. And it just kept on like kicking up, and I was holding my mom's hand, and then I wasn't holding her hand anymore. And I heard this big bird sound, and I felt like I got picked up, and then I just got dropped. And then I had the scars. I got dropped on the lawn in front of the Academy of the Twilight Matron, and then I had these scars. And he doesn't like talk to me with his voice. It's like when I really, really need to know something that I don't know, it's like wind at the right time. It's like I have a really good idea. It's like he gives me a really good idea, but I know it didn't come from me. It came from him. He has like a voice in my ideas.
Like a gentle nudge.
Yeah, and it's not so much like gentle, like, I like you and I'm going to show you the way. It's more like, this is the thing. This is the right thing.
Right. You said that you were holding your mother's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you blinked. And the talons had dropped you somewhere else.
Yeah, kind of.
This leads me to believe that your deity saved you from the situation.
Yeah.
Quite literally picked you up.
Yeah.
And dropped you where you needed to be.
So Drogar, you kind of mull over what Winnie has said, and you think about the symbols that the Way Warden has given to Winnie to represent himself. The claw of the eagle, the chicken's foot, the cricket.
Yeah, so when I try to talk to him, sometimes he acts like a cricket. One time the cricket played a violin.
And so Drogar, you know, new gods pop up all the time.
Right.
A lot of them, gods are a lot like celebrities, right? Like there are new ones coming around all the time, and then sometimes in 3 weeks we forget about them, but there are those ones that stick around forever. And those are the big ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Dear Mistra.
Exactly.
Dear Mr. Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Space and time continuum.
Exactly. So you can't quite make a call. Sometimes they are entirely new gods. Sometimes they are new manifestations of an existing god. It just depends on the situation and the worshippers and the state of the world.
I have one last question for you.
Yes.
Has this god made himself known to you?
Yes.
In addition?
Yes.
I want you to describe it to me in great detail.
Okay, so I was asleep, I think. And then I was dreaming like I was going to the church in our town. it was like everything was going in slow mo. It was like it was going in fast motion. Everybody was like going to church and going up and singing and then going and sitting down. And then all of a sudden it was a bunch of Strahds that were chasing me and I was running up to the altar. And then there was an explosion. And then it like this big fiery guy with wings. Was he like a bird? Or it's like non-Euclidean,
nondescript, yeah. But you got
There were wings.
You got the feeling of wings spreading wide.
Yeah, and fire and wings. And he said that I am in great danger.
That's incredible.
And that was right before you went to the Abbey.
Yeah, he is very powerful and very scary. And he said I'm in great danger. But I didn't feel like I was like scared, but in like a good way because he's like on my team.
Yeah, and I think this pings for you, Drogar, because you're like a lot of times it's challenging for gods to reach their subjects a lot of the time because
This one reached her very quickly.
Well, and it did, and you think probably before she was really meant to see him. Like I part of the reason he appeared so fiery and chaotic and scary, I think, is because she's just so young and her understanding of her power is still so mutable.
When Tyr made himself known to me, it came as a visage in the night.
What did he look like?
He was a giant.
Like a giant? Like a giant, like you could see his face and his like arms and legs?
I don't know if you've ever seen a giant, have you, Winnie?
I saw Balachko.
Imagine Balachko, twice his size, but he is regal, blind, but he is justice.
And you just like know that? Like he just makes you feel that and you know that?
There's something about the eyes not being able to deter you from the truth of the situation. That is what Tyr represents. When he made himself known to me, I was in my odd 200s. I believe, Winnie, you are very young to see the image of your god. And perhaps that is why he appeared so violently.
Wouldn't he appear nice then?
Well, that's where the contrary is, because when he did appear, his words spoke of protection and saving you, though his visage was fiery and
It was like he needed to make sure that I knew it was important.
Well, what alarms me is the power of your god, because Tyr, in all his might, and perhaps this is because I'm an old codger and there are younger, more selected men and women that deserve Tyr's eyes, but what I've noticed is that Tyr has had a hard time piercing this veil.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard from you, the Way Warden has pierced it as if it were a piece of paper.
Yeah, it was just the one time that he, like, appeared in a dream. But usually has to be sneaky, like a cricket.
Yes. It's very interesting that he takes his time to be stealthy.
And usually it's when I'm really asking for him.
Well, that is when our deities answer most, is when we are in dire need. For example, there are many times that I can think of where you were faced with extreme moments. But you harnessed your intuition and your natural-born prowess to achieve those things. One thing I can think of in particular is the abbot. He had you cornered, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And he threatened you, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And did you ask the Way Warden for help?
I didn't really have time to ask. He just gave me a really good idea.
And you just did. Winnie, I have had a feeling from the moment I met you that you have potential beyond anyone that I've ever seen. It's remarkable, regardless of your deity, regardless of who you swear fealty to in your powers. Do you believe in what the Way Warden tells you?
Mm-hmm.
Then they are your deity.
Putting all this together, mulling over what you've learned of the Way Warden so far, Drogar. With a 17, you can't be sure, but you think, just based on this imagery, the dust and the feathers and appearing in flame, it conjures this image of these images are only really on full display when light is brought to them. We think of dust floating in the air as sunbeams pour through a window, or the sunlight unlocking the hidden potential of raven feathers and exposing the rainbow that dwells there beneath. And so you can presume, Drogar, that whoever the Way Warden is, they are some extension of the light. And knowing that, I think the two of you are able to put together a communion circle.
I think it looks like this. It's a circle with 3 little spikes on top. It almost looks like a circle that's completed by a crown. Mm-hmm. And then below the circle on the left side is drawn out a line out to the side. Below the circle on the right side is drawn out a line out to the side, like the suggestion of wings. And then at the place where those wings meet the circle, there are 3 lines.
And I think Drogar does he does the formalities. So he does a circle on the outer side of that, and then he does certain runes that are protection, continuation, allowing for a minute's time, all the things that are meant to be to protect from the weave in the sense of actually communing with the god.
That's great. That's great.
So he does that, and then he goes, I think we're ready. If you feel anything that you're unsure of, or anything that doesn't seem right in this process, I want you to scream as loud as you can.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Just a yell, or perhaps we can decide on a word, or what was it? Balashkov. That's what we'll say.
Balachko?
Yes.
The giant?
Yes, like the giant. If for any reason you feel unsafe, or for any reason things seem to be not going the way that you planned, just yell Balachkov.
Balachko. Balachko.
Yes.
Okay. Balachko. Okay. I'll yell Balachko.
Yes.
Now what do I do? Now what do I do?
You want to cast commune?
What did I add? What do I add? Yes, okay, I want to do it, okay.
Right.
If you want to, if that was, yeah.
And you wish to commune with your god?
Yes, okay.
Right. Come with me.
Okay.
And Drogar will kind of stand behind her. He'll take one hand and he'll put I guess together, not in a traditional pose, but 2 hands together, close your eyes, and just kind of stand up straight. And he just goes, right. Now, reach out to the Way Warden. You have not asked for anything that you have not needed.
Yeah.
And in this moment, you need to commune. It is you that must make the connection. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're ready.
I'll kneel in front of the symbol drawn on the floor, and just kind of on impulse, Winnie places her hand at the base of where the wings line starts, and then crosses her hands in the dirt floor and kind of winks them out along the lines of the wings, and the dirt kicks up off the floor.
You feel what you think is at least is the magic taking hold, and you have 3 questions. What do you want to ask?
Do I feel any different?
The symbol alights and kind of glows around you, and you feel, maybe you get that sense of little bits of eraser dust kind of floating in the air around you, almost just kind of swirling in a circle, in a vortex. And you feel something, you kind of feel a channel opening to where exactly you're not entirely sure, but the channel is open if you want to ask.
Trust your instincts, Winnie. I think, trust your instincts, Winnie. Trust it. You're not alone. No.
3 yes or no questions?
Yeah, the spell allows you to ask 3 questions.
Jesus. Okay.
Were you ready for that?
Don't think too hard.
I've never done this before. Is Titania okay?
A gentle breeze blows in through the tent, Winnie, and perhaps some of the along the edges, hanging from the tent, perhaps there's some like drying herbs or something. And as the wind blows in, it rustles these leaves, and as you see them switch back and forth, one side appears still bright and green, while the other has faded to a reddish brown. And as the wind blows in, you see these leaves flip back and forth for a few moments before resting with their green sides facing upward towards you.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. Cool. Is Otto having fun?
Ned's laughing, not Drogar.
It's great. The leaves rustle again in the breeze, shaking about until, again, coming to rest with the sort of minty green side facing up.
Is it bad to think about Pasha like in a boy-girl way?
Way to throw the fucking reset button.
A pause. For
The sound of a cosmic facepalm.
your question was, is it bad to think about Pasha in a boy
In
girl?
like a boy-girl way. I have it verbatim in my notes.
You get the magic 8-ball that just says "ask again later."
Is it bad to think about Pasha like in a boy girl way? Okay. Again, the wind blows in and rustles up the drying herbs. I'm picturing bay leaves now.
Yeah.
I just talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
With like the green on one side and the reddish brown on the other.
Delicious.
This time, they settle on the reddish brown.
Panic, blind panic.
Why?
The first two were green.
Yeah.
This one is different. Is it bad? No. Oh, that's a no. Cool.
Now do all that as Winnie.
So then I think seeing that, it's still blind panic, but it's like, she's immediately like trying to erase the whole song. Like,
As if anyone else would understand.
as if like it's like text messages. She's trying to erase the whole circle. So yeah, I think like she gets that and then just like dives into the circle and starts like erasing it with her hands.
Great, yeah. I think for while she's in this circle and like the eraser dust swirls about her a little bit, Drogar, I think you kind of lose access to what she's saying. Sure. From outside of the sort of circle of the spell. But yeah, then the next thing you see is just frantically.
It's like Drogar is like, listen, there's like, echo, 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 echo. And then suddenly he just hears like blah, 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 blah.
Don't look at the leaves.
And I look in and I just see her like frantically, and I'm like, to each their own.
And she like pops back up like a little wide-eyed, like she hasn't slept in a long time. And she's like, cool. Okay, that went really good, I think.
You get all the answers you were looking for.
Yes, thank you.
Right. Well, I will set some oatmeal aside for you.
Yes. Okay, I will be back for oatmeal. I'm gonna go for a walk along the trees.
Excellent.
I need rocks.
Rocks.
Yes. And then she just gets like a little smile, and then she turns and takes off running.
Yeah.
You just see like deet feet running towards the tree line.
And there she goes. Awesome. Did you want to do another rock check?
Yes, can I do one?
Yeah, do it. You can do it. Investigation.
Rock check.
Rock
Okay.
check, yeah.
I need 2 more rocks.
Rock and roll.
What is it?
So fucked.
She's really struggling finding the rocks.
I mean, you just did commune with a god.
5.
Yeesh, yeah, no, nothing that fits.
Good
The thing is, B, you find a lot of rocks on these trips, but just not quite right.
This is so messed up.
It's going to be so worth it when you find them, though.
It's gonna be good. Okay, great. So then, with
I
that
can back
said,
up. I have oatmeal.
yeah, have your oatmeal. So we'll say we are,
And you're
all-
surrounded by burly men and women that are just like fucking eating.
Miyazaki is just like huge small.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I like almost imagine when he's like,
Yeah, she's just hanging.
yeah.
hang.
She's just hanging.
And they all have seen her kill a werewolf. They know not to mess.
Yeah.
They know not to mess with Winnie. Yeah, they all watch.
You see that one right there?
Even a werewolf skull.
Be careful with her.
Yeah, uh-huh.
She killed 3 werewolves, she did.
Yeah, it's that. So then, yeah, we will say we're sort of kind of like gathering here for breakfast and preparing to head out. Yeah? That's yours.
I've said it before. Campbell has a very expressive face.
How does Kaz enter?
How does Kaz exit? More like. Once it's like way too much time has passed. Like I think both Kaz and Zari are like,
Neither are in a rush.
yeah, neither have been in a rush for a very long time, but it's like
It's neither of us can deny at this point that it's a little weird that we haven't like shown our faces.
I suppose it's time we head out and attend to our duties. What's on your mind, Kasle?
Well, if we walk out of this tent at the same time, I feel like people are going to draw conclusions. And I don't know that I have a problem with that, but you're more familiar with the Berserker ways. Is that going to be, like, weird for anyone?
Let him talk. It'll be good for them to have some gossip more than just how long we're going to live.
I'm also about to leave, so, like, you're going to have to field all the questions. I don't want to burden you with...
Do you know how I field questions, Kasle?
And she puts a fist into her.
Woof. What a woman.
blushes.
All right.
Don't you worry, I'll keep this unruly lot in order.
Well, then let's get some breakfast.
Aye, do that.
And Kaz throws aside the flaps of the tent with Zari.
And the tent flaps of the tent cover the camera lens as they walk out.
And as you walk out into the morning air, I think she takes like one of the big bear pelts from off the floor and drapes it over your shoulders and sends you out.
No, that's cute. And yeah, Kaz.
Like you're wearing your sweatshirt.
Like a big bee on the chest.
That's cute.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
So yeah, you head out and join the Morn. If any of the berserkers give sidelong glances, they keep it private. Maybe some of them get a cheeky smile, but otherwise it's just a lot of, come on, Arya, as you walk through the camp.
Just directly at Drogar. Where is Drogar right now? Is he still...
He's at like the cauldron. He's like serving it to like, no, you back of the line. I saw you cut it. Oh, I was never. No. Boo, the back. Boo. That's right. You think this is my first time in a military encampment? And he's just like scooping like out the porridge to people and like cutting off a slice of the bread and he goes, oh, yes, thank you for being patient. Yes, I see that man back there. He's got a thing or two to learn. Oh, guys! Come. I've got something special for you.
Morning.
And he, like, pulls out from underneath the,
What keeps doing these
facial
evil
expressions.
faces towards Kaz?
But Drogar pulls out from underneath. He's spent a little bit of extra spices to make a little piece of French toast for you. Of the Neverwinter French toast.
Oh! Yeah.
For what you did
Last night.
Is that not where he was going? That was my assumption.
I was going to say for what you did at Argynvost Holt, but
Right, yes, at Argynvost Holt, yeah. My greatest conquest of the weekend.
I don't want to make too many sexy jokes about Kaz and Zarya because they're a viable relationship and I don't want to sexualize them too much. But boy, it's all very
boy, are
sexy.
they sexy.
It's all very sexy.
but we're going to sexualize
I
it.
think all of you would take note that they arrived to the fire pit together.
Yes.
A little disheveled.
A little
like,
disheveled.
Yeah,
and a little lighter, I think.
yeah, there's like an energy. Oh, come on. It's just not late energy. Come on. We've all seen it.
Been there, done that.
We've all seen it.
With the Tiger Woods red shirt and black pants. Like they're both like
I want to make a very specific insight roll. I've been sitting over here with
Okay, yeah. What do you go for it?
I want to make an insight roll on what Winnie knows about stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. What if she knows about the birds and the bees?
Yeah. Like, would she clock
Right.
because I've been going back and forth about like what a young halfling upbringing is in that kind of close of a town.
Yeah, give me an insight check.
I'm not good at D&D anymore because I can't roll.
What is it?
13.
Okay. 13. I don't think halflings are very shy about that kind of thing. You know, I don't think halflings are super shy. That said, have you gotten like the talk? I don't know. It's probably just, I don't know. I just don't think halflings have the same hangups that human beings do. So I think she knows. I don't know. What do you think?
I bet humans and like high elves are a little repressed. Everyone
Yeah,
else
for
is
sure.
like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet there's no need for a birds and bees talk in that town.
Like, I think, yeah, you get the gist.
I get the gist.
How much specifics, who knows? But you understand.
Not too long ago, you described like all of the children of a village just barging into someone's house. Like, the chances are.
We probably found out some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and you know, the halfling kids all talk to each other. Like,
Yeah.
I think you have a 12-year-old. Yeah, I mean, I think you know what's up.
Yeah.
At 12, you know what's up.
You know what's
You
up.
know what's up.
You know what's up. Yeah, I was
What
like,
all that means
Yeah,
to Winnie, I don't know, but like
I was curious about like how advanced that kind of awareness would be to like pick up on it and somebody else. But I'll play that out.
yeah, you definitely notice something different. Let's say.
I think Drogar sees Kaz and is like, right, a slice for you. Oh, sorry.
Master Dragonbone, how do you fare?
Well, your pelts are quite good on the lower back, I must say.
Aren't they just?
as she looks at Kaz.
Right, well, I suppose you'll be needing an extra helping today. Drogar kind of like grabs like a board and just is like, just kind of hands it to Zarya.
Fill me up, Master Drogar. I shall be remiss if you're cooking once you're gone from this place. Oh, thank ye mightily.
And then I just kind of look at Kaz and I go,
The next words out of your mouth had better be, "Oh, I got something in my eye."
oh.
I just watched Kay's eye twitch.
And I think Drogar just smiles and just goes, and he hands her food and he just goes, "You've earned it, Kaz.
Thank you.
Go on now, you."
You look really pretty.
Oh.
Short circuit.
Oh, Kaz is having a meltdown, dude. He's not ready for all these compliments.
I don't think anyone's ever said that to me before.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you. Feels nice.
I like how the pink looks in your cheeks on the green.
That's enough.
Okay.
That's funny.
Well, much of a delight as we all have had, I imagine you lot will be making your way out this morn, do I, unless I much miss my guess?
To Vallaki is our next step. We haven't been there since we lost Artemis.
Indeed. A homecoming it'll be. Well then, if there's anything we can provide you with for your journey, just let us know. Otherwise, we shall be waiting for when the call comes. When it is time to march on Ravenloft, we'll be leading a van.
Know that Argynvost Holt has been liberated, and if you'd like to send a scout to keep watch there.
I could probably send a spy or two to make sure the old dragon's nest is coming into order.
Our plan is to, well, I don't know how well these old dragon hands will be at rebuilding the place, but I would like to use that as a staging front. It is quite a stronghold.
Built to last.
And perhaps with a couple masons from Kresk and Vallaki.
Aye, we could have ourselves a right proper fortress before too long.
I'm glad you think so.
Anything that'll make it easier to stick a boot up the devil's ass, I'm quite in favour of.
I have a feeling there will be quite a lot of boots that he's going to have up his ass.
Well, laces
sorry.
coming out of his...
I believe I said that.
He'll have laces coming out of his nose.
That's fun. That's humorous.
That's good. That's quite funny.
All right.
Can I ask a meta question?
Sure.
When Drogar got up in the morning, was his purple cloak still hanging outside the door?
No.
Nice. I'd like to have a quick moment with Ayla too.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah. She comes out. She's like, actually, by the time you are all up and having breakfast, she's coming back.
From her scout, yeah.
From like morning rounds.
And I just approach her, and I'm just like, Ayla, you've done better than I could do. Just keep yourself safe. And I like take a moment and like put my forehead to her forehead as that like fatherly berserker bond.
You too. You know, you're doing us all proud. It's nice, you know, to put a berserker face on the liberation of this place.
I'm doing only what I can, but you keep our people safe, and you keep yourself safe.
I'll keep them safe, you keep me safe, and we'll all have a pint once this is all over and the devil's head is floating in the river.
Aye, more than a pint, I say.
Stuck by the best. I'll continue to be so.
How's the cat?
You know, she left us a while back. Went off into the forest to find greater fortunes. But unless I much miss my guess, she's out there with the lad.
Aye, where she belongs, I would say. Keep an eye out for him.
Always will, always do.
Leave some rations out for him.
I think we spotted him not too long ago, but once we started to circle it in, he just up and moved again. He's quite crafty, that one.
Aye, I've heard stories. Just, give him his space and leave him some treats.
Aye, trail of breadcrumbs it is. Travel safe.
Thank you. And he, I feel like blushes a little bit and just, nods and walks away.
Mm-hmm. Well, my friends, I am loath as ever to see you go, but I know destiny calls you to great fate. Olaf, you do us proud. Make sure you take care of our queen now. Aye?
I'll do my best.
I know you will. I know you all will.
Sorry, forgive me. Have you thought about possible trade with Vallaki and Kresk?
That seems a matter to bring up with our queen.
Kaz?
What?
I'll let you lot sort it out on the road.
Just blush as I catch her staring at Zarya.
Wait, yeah, was staring and not listening.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening.
I'll load up in the cart, and I think like maybe they kind of load up and form that procession again at the bottom of the hill as we're loading up the cart and getting ready to go, and they kind of array themselves.
I don't think Kaz can resist. She's gonna leap off the cart and give Zarya. She's gonna give Zarya a goodbye kiss.
In front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
She does not struggle.
Kaz, are you ready? Kaz, where are you going?
Jumping off the cart and just runs and
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe you even pull away a little bit, and then you just hop off and run back. And yeah, it's great. That's great. Maybe she even lifts you up. Does a little notebook spin.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Because she's so tiny and sorry.
Not used to feeling tiny. It's really nice.
Great.
Irina and Dmitri,
They are with
we have
you.
with us in this cart.
Yes, indeed.
Drogar looks at Dimitri and goes, "Oh, she's a jolly good fellow.
She's a jolly good fellow."
What? We can talk about it more later.
Right, Dizzy.
So we load up and we're off. Leaving behind the Berserker camp, you're back on the old Svalich road, and on this western side of the valley, it's more open than farther east, where the trees come up and kind of loom over you. But as you travel, though, the mists persist, and the valley is its usual dour gray. The beacon burns brightly across the valley, and if you perhaps chanced a glance up at the smoky sky, you might catch a flash of spectral color, a brief, bright burst that lasts the length of a blink and then kind of vanishes again. But you see these rays, these sort of fingers of color spread out over the valley. And as a result of lighting the beacon, we no longer roll for wolves.
Whoa!
What?
Wow.
Oh.
We no longer roll for wolves.
Kaz, are you up front? Like on...
I imagine so, sure.
I think Drogar with his pipe and he's kind of whipping the reins. He just goes, "You see that, Kaz? Hope in all its glory."
Kaz, I think, is like fully reclined.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Laid out.
Yeah. Feet up
Hands
on like
behind
the
her head.
Yeah.
Hands behind her head. A distinct lack of muscle tension in her entire body.
Oh, thank God.
I think you're used to seeing Kaz as a coiled snake all the time.
Yeah.
I see it.
And you did that, Kaz. I'll be sure to tell my students and Elturel about this.
So the trip passes uninterrupted. And soon things start to look familiar again. The road widens, the trees clear away. You pass by the road that turns south, which would bring you to Argynvost Holt. You cross over the bridge over the Luna River, which, if you recall, is
A lifetime ago.
where Vasily sent you to try and you got the zomp. Boy, how far we've come. You see the road that would turn north towards Kresk and Lake Baratok and Dimitri's Tower and the Wolf Den. Before too long, the familiar walls of Vallaki come into view. And from a distance, it's still pretty far away. It looks small and miniature, but it's hard not to notice, even from maybe still like half a mile out. It looks very different.
I think at that point, too, Olaf stops and, like, from scouting ahead, and he waits for the cart and then just, like, joins.
Great, yeah. So, I think we're developing this tendency where, like, as we travel, Olaf kind of just disappears for a while, right? And so the next time you see him is kind of coming around a bend, and you see him just standing there. As you come around a bend, and it opens up onto the plain surrounding the city, and you can see in the distance the walls, and you just see Olaf standing by the side of the road.
Tell me, Olaf, what do your berserker eyes see?
A city. A big city.
Oh. You've never been to Vallaki?
Not yet.
Well, I assure you they are very welcoming.
Yes. I'll let you all lead the way on this one.
Very well. Climb aboard.
Right. Drawing a bit closer, you can see from this distance wooden palisades have been built atop the existing stone walls to give extra vantage and protection to the city's fortifications. And as you draw close, you kind of like catch glints of like the tips of halberds as town guards kind of patrol these new wooden palisades built atop. And in the distance, you can see a flag flying from a parapet atop the new walls. A silver bow and arrow crossing the moon against a deep green field.
Yes.
This is the territory of the Alliance of the Silver Bow.
Wow.
Lars! Lars!
Right, pulling up to the gate. I mean, the first time you came to Vallaki, it was literally just like that iron portcullis with Lars and his friend standing outside.
The only reason we got in is because we had ale.
Lars
we had
and
wine.
Dave.
Yeah, Lars.
Lars and Dave.
And so you pull up to the western gate here. And in fact, leaning out over one of the palisades, you see a pair of town guards leaning over. One of them you recognize as Lars's old partner. And the other is...
Dave.
Yeah, his name was Grigory, but yeah. Other than
Gregory, sorry. Thank you.
You always get them mixed up.
Gregory, Dave, it happens all the time. Yeah, just one of those faces, I guess. But the other is a much younger face, a lad, maybe 17, 18 years old. But yeah, as you approach up, do you call for Lars?
Yeah. Lars! Oh, Gregory!
Yeah, he kind of leans over and says, and looks down at you and, "Oh, you're back? The captain said to expect you at any time. Oh, open the gates, lad. What are you doing? Don't you know the heroes of the city when you see them? Quick! And the runs over and starts pulling on this big wheel, which raises the portcullis up and opens your way to make your way into the city. Entering in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. So you pass under the palisade, and as you pass through the gate, you kind of maybe look back up over your shoulders, and you see Grigory up there giving, kind of waving you through. And as you enter into the city, moving through the city, you find here the streets transformed. What once were muddy footpaths where dour-faced folk hurried along their business, scared to make a sound, now are busy avenues. You see market stalls set up along the way, some selling textiles or spun pottery, and others selling foodstuffs that far exceed the wan turnips, cabbage, and sour wolf meat that were the only things on display when first you got here. People walk about the streets with their heads held high, and in fact, many heads turn to you as you pass by. Some smile, some nervously look away, and others still come up to you and offer a hand or a kind word as you just make your way down the main thoroughfare of the city here. But all recognize you and are impressed and nervous and starstruck and excited to have you back within the walls of the city. And so it's almost like a little bit of a promenade, making your way through the city along the way to the center, where you come across up on the blue water, just as it always has been. You see people coming in and out of the front door at a rapid pace, and the distinct sound of wood being chopped coming from the back, where you know the stables to be. We've made it back to the city at last.
Strahdcast features Campbell O'Hare as Winnie, Ned Pryce Iannacone as Drogar, Kay Devine-Jones as Kaz, Tyler Kanter as Artemis, and me, Trevor William Fayle, as your DM. Of course it's all in your mind, patrons, but why should that mean it isn't real? Special shout out to our newest patrons, Amber Pitzenberger and Corin Porter. Welcome to the party. If you're not ready to support us financially, there are still plenty of ways to help us out. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Critical Fail DM, binge Madness and Mercy on our YouTube channel, and join us there every other Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time, when we do live listens of new episodes of the Strahdcast, or rate and leave us a review wherever you like to listen. Thanks, Dungeoneers, and take your day with advantage.
I think that was Kaz's first time.
Really?
Yeah, just like looking back canonically, like the closest she ever came to a romantic relationship was with Grun, and that never turned into anything. And then she was on the ship for a while, and she didn't bang any of them, and now she's in Barovia.
Nothing makes me blush more.
I think we're good.
The idea. Nothing makes me blush more.
Then what?
I was just saying that was Kaz's first time. So nothing makes Trevor blush more either. Yeah, that was Kaz's first time.
Trevor, you were Kaz's
Heart
first.
is actually hammering.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I like doing this. I like playing this with you all very much.